What is up, everybody? I was looking at the countdown. I wasn't sure if it started recording. What is up, everybody? I am your host, Josh from Kayfabe Central, as always, here with another post-show review, another pay-per-view review, and this one's gonna be a pretty quick one. I have my camera on this time. I did say that I was gonna see if I can, try to do that, and it's better quality than I expected, and my laptop is shaking, but better quality than I expected. And yeah, so we're gonna get straight into this because we currently have the WrestleMania pre-show going right now. So I'm gonna kind of just breeze through this. If anything, on Tuesday night I might do a podcast where I go more in depth into things here. Like we have a 3 hour pre-show for WrestleMania, which is insane. By the way, I think I touched on that a little bit before. A 3 hour pre-show with no matches is absolutely ridiculous. Before I get into this, I'm going to do a little bit self promo. As always, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts and opinions, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos and podcasts and interviews that we have coming to this channel. Speaking of interviews, if you haven't already, go check out my interview I did with Alexia Nicole. Great conversation, great wrestler, great person, and it was very engaging conversation. So let's get straight into NXT Stand and Deliver, pay per view that I think very highly of, and we're gonna get into that. So we started off with the countdown to Stand and Deliver pre-show, and on that we had a match, a 1 hour pre-show. We have a match, whereas a 3 hour WrestleMania pre-show for both nights, we don't have a single match. Got to turn my ringer off. We don't have a single match on WrestleMania pre-show for either nights, and it's 3 hours. But that's beside the point. Um, it was a fatal four-way elimination tag team match between Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson, the Meta Girls, versus Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus Fatal Influence, um, Fallon Henley and JC Jane versus Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan, in which Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley win. The Meta Girls were eliminated first by Roxanne pinning Lash Legend, and then Cora and Roxanne were eliminated as well. And I didn't catch this until the last second, but Roxanne walked out on Cora Jade, so they brought them back together just to split them right away again. And I'm gonna get into this a little bit later. I don't understand turning on your partner mid match. It doesn't make sense to me, but we're gonna get into that later, and I think you guys know where I'm going with that. But yeah, so they're split again. I don't know where this goes with Roxanne and Cora. If maybe they have a match against each other, and that's the send off for Roxanne Perez. Maybe Cora Jade sticks around on NXT for a while. I have no idea. Um, but Roxanne Perez should be getting called up to the main roster very soon. I hope that's the case, and Cora Jade should be as well. I'm a huge fan of Cora, and I think that you both should be on the main roster. Um, so and then we were left with Fatal Influence versus Gigi Dolan, Tatum Paxley, in which I just mentioned Dolan and Paxley win, which makes me think that Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are retaining tomorrow night at WrestleMania. I don't see a world in where Bailey and Lyra win and they face Dolan and Paxley. If this were Cora and Roxanne who won this match, that I could see. I could have seen Cora and Roxanne winning and then Bailey and Lyra winning tomorrow, setting up that match. But I just don't see Bailey and Lyra going up against Dolan and Tatum. I think it's just going to be Liv and Raquel that retain tomorrow night. The match was decent overall. It wasn't a bad match at all. It was a good match for a pre-show match. Yeah, nothing else to really touch on there. We kicked the night off, the actual pay per view off, with the NXT North American Championship match between Ricky Saints and Ethan Page, and Ricky Saints retained. This match was, compared to the rest of the card, was the downer for me. I was expecting a lot more from this match between these two. I don't know if it's just they don't have the chemistry together in the ring or if something was off tonight, but yeah, I don't really know what the issue was. It just didn't do it for me. It was solid. It wasn't a bad match. And I think this would have been would have been a solid match if like the other matches didn't outweigh it by so much and so far. But yeah, Ricky Saints retains. Um, I don't know where this goes from here. I think Ricky Saints is gonna hold it for a little while longer and maybe lose it to someone like Wesley. Maybe I can see him getting the title again. Maybe Alexis King. Um, yeah, but I do think Ricky Saints is gonna hold it for a little while longer. And yeah, solid enough match. I expected more. Um, but we did get more in the second match with the NXT Tag Team Title match between Fraxium and Hank and Tank. Hank and Tank impressed me today. They really did, and I really enjoyed this match. This match was really good, and I did not expect the result, which was Hank and Tank winning the NXT Tag Team titles. I'm still not sure about Hank and Tank winning the titles because I mentioned this before. I don't think that they have what it takes to carry this tag division, and um, I think Fraxium should have retained. But after what I saw from Hank and Tank today, I'm open to being wrong about this. I am completely open to that, and if they can continue to prove me wrong like this week after week and actually be on top of the tag division and hold that spot that Fraxium was holding, then by all means go for it. I'm excited. I'm interested in to see what Hank and Tank do as NXT Tag Team Champions. As for Fraxium, I don't know what happens with them. Maybe they get called up to the main roster. I think that they should. They should get called up to the main roster at this point. Um, I was actually thinking that there was going to be a heel turn here. And because Axiom was acting a little heelish in this match, and I guess there had to be someone that acted heelish. Because we have these like backstage segments where Axiom and Nathan Frazier don't seem on the same page, but in the ring they're clicking. And then we saw a little bit of heel action from Axiom, and I thought, maybe this is where Fraxium turns heel, but no, they just showed respect. Walked out, let Hank and Tank have their moments. Surprising result, but yeah, maybe Fraxium gets called up to the main roster, but very fun match. Another fun match here was the ladder match for the vacated NXT Women's North American Championship, in which Sol Ruka picked up the win. Now, I didn't predict Sol Ruka to win. She was my preferred win for this, and I'm happy that Sol won. I picked Lola Vice to win this, and honestly, like I said just now, I'm happy this was the result because between Sol and Lola, I have been liking Sol a little bit more. I haven't been really liking the things that Lola Vice has been doing as of late. So I think Sol Ruka was the right decision here. Overall, fun match. Izzy Dame showed me a lot of things that I haven't seen from her in previous matches. So she really showed out. She really showcased her talent in this match. A highlight from this match, going back to Sol Ruka, um, was her like flipping backwards to get onto top of the ladder. That was pretty cool. The Soul Snatcher, like hitting three Soul Snatchers on wrestlers. I can't remember the three that she hit it on. But yeah, this was a fun match. I wrote not the best ladder match in NXT history because it's not, but it was a good match and I enjoyed it. So, thumbs up in my books. Then we had the 6-man tag team match between the family, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Luca Crisafino, and Tony D'Angelo versus Dark State. Dark State won by pinfall. Um, it was a solid match, but here's my issue, and this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier on. I don't understand, and I never have understood why wrestlers turn on their partners mid match, because logically you would want to win the match. I feel like that's the logical approach to it. You would want to win the match, and they lose, and then Stacks could be like, you don't listen to me, and it's your fault we lost, and boom, there's the turn. Whereas they just turn mid match and then just leave, and the loss goes on his record. I don't know. It's pro wrestling. Not everything makes sense, and not everything is going to make sense. That's just the way it is in pro wrestling. We did have a thing a little bit later on in the show where Crucifino went up to Stacks and Stacks was just like, "I'll tell you everything on Tuesday," which is what we pretty much expected. So yeah, there was that, and I'm gonna just see where this goes. I thought that Tony was eventually gonna get called up to the main roster and leave Stacks in charge, but now this leaves things a little bit up in the air. But again, I'm intrigued into where they go with this. Speaking of intriguing and a really damn good match, the co-main event here, the Fatal 4-Way match for the NXT Women's Championship, is between Stephanie Vaquer, Julia Jada Parker, and Jordan Grace, where Stephanie Vaquer retains, and this surprised me. It surprised me that Vaquer retains because I was predicting that Julia wins because they took her off of TV. They had her lose the title to Vaquer. Um, because we thought that there was either visa issues or she was injured, and it happened to be that she was neither of those. So I was confused as to why they took the title off of her, and I was expecting them to put the title back on her. Um, but I'm okay with Vaquer retaining. This match was really good. Um, yeah, these four women are all really talented, and I think the post that I put for this match was they stood and delivered. And I know that's a really basic saying now for a few years with stand and deliver when they put on a good match, but they really did. They really stood and delivered, and I enjoyed this a lot. Really, really good match. Um I don't know with any of the champions that walked out where their next opponents are what their next opponents are gonna be, what the next feud is gonna be. I can't really predict that right now. But I'm happy with this match, and I'm perfectly okay with Vaquer retaining. I think one of my favorite spots of this match was when she hit the I'm forgetting the name of the move, but the move that Booker T loves, and that we all love. um, but she hit it three times, and like the build up to it, anytime it got interrupted, the crowd just booed, and then after she hit it three times, they started chanting Booker T. So that was really funny and cool. Speaking of cool, that brings us to the main event, the triple threat for the NXT Championship: Obafemi versus Javon Evans versus Trick Williams. My voice is cracking because I'm just going. But Obafemi retained, surprisingly for me, that he retained the title here. Um, really good match again. I mean, this was insane. And honestly, I stopped doing the reaction videos on my Instagram and stuff like that just because it's a lot with like the amount of coverage that I have to do, plus reaction videos and the editing for that, and the amount of articles that I have to write. Like I had to speed write an article this morning before Stand and Deliver about Rey Mysterio. So um but yeah, so I stopped doing those, but this match made me want to do those reaction videos again because my reactions throughout this match were just insane. So I really enjoyed this match, and Obafemi retaining is fine by me. I think this is cool. Um, no idea who takes the title off of Femi, but again, I'm interested in finding out. I like Obafemi. The the main thing of this match was Javon Evans and his showing. I mean, the kid is 20 years old. He's my age. He's 20 years old and he's doing stuff like what he's doing. And he completely showed out in this main event. Really strong showing. Trick Williams is always fun to watch, and I love me some Obafemi. So yeah, I love this match from top to bottom. I liked this whole pay-per-view from top to bottom, and I think that this was really put together, really good put together. I don't even know if I said that right, but it was well put together, is what I'll say. And yeah, very enjoyable pay per view. Had me invested pretty much in every single match, and that is a good thing for a two and like 2 hours and 45 minutes ish. No, like 2 hours and 50 minutes, something like that. Um, so yeah, this was really cool. Cool pay per view. Cool main event. About the main event, I forgot to mention. I was expecting Trick Williams to win this and Dark State get involved. Dark State didn't do anything in this main event. They didn't show up at all. All they did was a six-man tag team match. And I'm going to be honest. I think that they should just break up Dark State because this is just looking like retribution. I tried to give them a chance, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, honestly. And I think they should just all just be singles guys. Um, because I was telling myself, I'm like, this is the pay per view that Darkseid has to do something, and they didn't do anything. So, unfortunate there, but yeah, I'm not liking Darkseid at all, and that's why I was thinking Trick Williams was gonna win the title here and be the mastermind behind um Darkseid, but doesn't look like that's the case. Um, so yeah, we have to see where that goes. But other than that, that's pretty much gonna wrap up this pay per view review. I know it's pretty fast. I did say I was gonna breeze through it because we have the WrestleMania pre-show, which is now half an hour in, but it's okay. I got like 2.5 hours more left. I don't even know if I did that math right, but we have a long pre-show left that I can keep up on, and I can, catch up on writing some articles if I need to throughout that, because it's just going to be them talking. And hopefully we get an update on Rey Mysterio. From what I've heard so far, he's still good to go. So I don't know if last night was just I don't know, maybe just a thing where he got hurt a little bit, but they rehabbed it already. Um, Maybe it was a really bad cramp. I have no idea. But if he's good to go, then he's good to go. And it's good to see. It's because it sucks to see people get injured, especially someone like Rey Mysterio. Sucks for anyone to get injured in this business or at all. So yeah, we'll see where that goes, and I will be back tonight for the WrestleMania Night 1 post show. And yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for you for this episode. I'm gonna go grab some water and cool off a little bit after talking fast for 60 minutes straight. I have been your host, Josh. This is Kayfabe Central, the pay-per-view review. I gotta come up with a name for this too. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.